All right, so with my Spider-Man swag on and some time passed, I figured I'd talk about my, of course, most anticipated game of 2023, Spider-Man 2. The game has now new information that, while scarce, of course, adds a little more context to how we might see Spider-Man 2 proceeding with the development it's currently in. But, of course, before we get into that, if you enjoy gaming topics that involve Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, then this channel's for you. So go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel and joining this amazing community we're building here with the content produced. And, of course, comment on what you think below the video, and let's get a discussion going once you've, of course, joined this amazing community. If you're not convinced, watch some older catalogs and make your decision there. But again, thank you for watching and checking this out. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, okay, last week, Yuri Lowenthal, the actor portraying Peter Parker, of course, in this series, starting with, of course, Spider-Man PS4, did an interview with Comic Book Movie and revealed that he still had some work to do with the anticipated sequel, Spider-Man 2. He, of course, is quoted as saying, "I've got a little bit to do. It's a massive game, so I'm still doing a little bit of work. I know they're confident about their release date, and Insomniac has always been good about that." And that's true. Other than the Resistance 3 game, which was of course delayed, they've always been really good on release times. Of course, we had heard nothing about the release date of Spider-Man 2 other than the release trailer, of course, and they'd always planned for 2023, and it was of course revealed that they will still be aiming for 2023 in a PlayStation blog that came out after New Year's, and it of course reaffirmed our hope that we're going to get this game, and of course it was future revealed that we're getting it in the fall of this year. Of course, we have no month pinpointed yet. Only one can assume maybe it will be the same date that they released it, which was in September, of course, for the PS4 title. We will see, but it's very interesting to see that Yuri is still got work to do. Whether, of course, that could be voiceover work in terms of side quests during swinging. Of course, if you've played the 2 previous titles, the actors, of course, voiced during exertion while swinging, and of course, no exertion while they're just resting on a rooftop or not fighting in any situation. So it could be that, or it could be the story is still being wrapped up. Mocap could be finished, but of course the voice acting has not been. We shall see, of course, as the game is hopefully planned for 2023 of the fall, hopefully. So, of course, this quote really has brought interesting information, as I can guess that the game most likely has been in development since 2018, post-release of the first title. Now, of course, it was probably not helmed by a big studio, or I'm sorry, a bigger development team at the time because of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart being developed, and of course, the DLC content and Miles Morales. So I would assume this development really ramped up in 2021 due to, of course, getting our announcement trailer during the time period of the Ratchet and Clank release window. And I mean, of all guesses, I think Insomniac, of course, could juggle multiple titles as they have in the past, and they've proven with Miles Morales releasing, and of course, Ratchet and Clank. But of course, it's very cool to see that they had released games 2 years between, of course, with Miles Morales releasing in 2020, and of course, Ratchet and Clank releasing in 2021, and of course Spider-Man PS4 releasing in 2018. Now, of course, with Miles Morales using a lot of reused assets and a lot of the map that they use, they still kind of had to build out new systems for Miles with his powers and abilities, and of course his whole swinging, as it's a whole different swinging system than in the original, and of course with the moveset he uses. But of course they did reuse the map, and of course, other than adding ray tracing and all the performance features they included, it was pretty similar to the original PS4 release. But, you know, Ratchet and Clank is, I think, more impressive due to the fact that that was a whole different game. They had to, of course, make models, maps, everything for the game. They built the game from the ground up, of course. So it was really impressive to see how they juggled, I'm going to say, the DLC for Spider-Man PS4, Miles Morales, and this game all at the same time, of course, releasing at different, very close times as well. So it's a very cool thing to see. And I cannot wait to see how well they've developed the new Spider-Man 2 title with juggling these other games. Because I assume that a lot of studios, of course, do this where they put a very tiny development team to start, and then they build it back up to where they need their full team to make the entire game. So I'm assuming that's what they do with Spider-Man 2, Ratchet and Clank, and, of course, probably Miles Morales. But, of course, Yuri stating this really brings up the question of how big is this game? There have been talks about how massive this can be, and of course we will not know until release, or at least a trailer or a dev blog that they decide to release. But this does bring excitement, as if he is still needing to record voice lines, it means, like I've stated, he is either developing storyline, set dialogue, or of course side mission stuff. And that could mean we have a massive world and story to explore in what I want to say is anticipated to be the greatest superhero sequel released to date. Of course, could it beat Batman Arkham City? We will, of course, see, as no other game has done so yet as a sequel. I'm hoping a Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and I would love to see a game be as great as that sequel was. So we will see. The title, of course, is, though, being shaped up to be a massive game that encourages world building, explorations, and, of course, exploring familiar places and unfamiliar places that we have not yet to explore in the previous iterations of this map of New York in the other games. Of course, I feel like this game will be a narrative masterpiece, as was teased with Miles Morales and Spider-Man PS4. With the addition of Miles being a main character and having more interaction time than he had in, of course, Spider-Man PS4. Of course, we had a full game with him in Miles Morales. Not as long as PS4, but a good chunk to get you to know the character and helm him as one of the new Spider-Men. Of course, it'll be interesting to see how much he will react to Peter with the symbiote suit, as we assume that's what the story's going to with the Venom teaser, and of course the Kraven the Hunter edition, as of course we with Kraven, Peter does get the symbiote in the comics, and of course we haven't seen that in the movies, but maybe we will with this Tom Holland new trilogy that is rumored to be able to be starting to release. So of course I'm excited to see how he will try to save Peter and, of course, be the best Spider-Man to the people of New York. So, of course, we're going to have to see. It'll be very exciting because Yuri Lowenthal and, of course, the actor for Miles will be very cool to see how they riff off of each other as Spider-Man this time, as we only got a little teaser in Miles Morales. And, of course, before that, the ending of PS4 where he began training Miles as Spider-Man. It'll be very fun. I'm very excited because Peter, of course, due to being Spider-Man for as long as he has, is more calculated and, of course, is more of a well-rounded Spider-Man, while Miles has still got that reactory emotional sense of I've got to do the best I can regardless of the outcome, which is very refreshing to see. Not saying that Peter didn't have that, but Peter, as being a more experienced Spider-Man, can really make better decisions based on his experience. Well, I can't wait to see how Miles reacts in this game, because I'm hoping that Peter and Miles are ripped apart due to the symbiote, and Miles really has to be his own Spider-Man like he did in the Miles Morales game, but this time Peter is not there, and there's a fear he may not be coming back, as Peter will be grappling with the symbiote and becoming a villain that he wished he would never have become, which is going to be a very cool story that Insomniac, I think, will adapt and make their own and create a fluid, dynamic, and very story-rich storyline that will, of course, impact not only Miles and Peter, Mary Jane, the people, of course, that Peter loves the most outside of those two. It'll be very cool to see. Now, of course, this information is very scarce, and a lot of this I am doing as guesswork. I am very much doing that because I do feel excited for this game. I'm anticipating its release, and I cannot wait to see what Insomniac produces next. But we've got to get to our next bit of information that I am putting in this video. This has, of course, come from the ad that was run on ESPN. I will have it in the video playing currently now, which, of course, depicts a newscaster speaking on the Spider-Man sighting, showing webbed-up criminals, and, of course, Peter and Miles swinging together, as it looks like it is homemade footage, probably from someone living in the apartment. Now, this, of course, was a big part of the PlayStation ad that showed other games such as Horizon and, of course, God of War. But it's really cool to see that they are beginning what is hopefully the marketing for this new game, which we have not gotten since the announcement trailer. A lot of people have been kind of concerned with the scarcity we've gotten in information, but I personally think it's PlayStation holding their cards close to their chest and waiting to reveal when they can really put out the information and gameplay to really excite the fans, as they know due to the scarcity there is an excitement and anticipation building up for a official trailer / gameplay. So I think that the marketing for this game will really kick off in February, so next month, as there is a rumored state of play planned, and if they do decide to have that in February, I feel confident that we will see our first gameplay introduction to Spider-Man 2, and all of our questions will be answered on the sides of New York and how we will maintain the gameplay choices of Miles and Peter, which I cannot wait to see. That is a system I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see if they're going to take a version of GTA 5 and just kind of make it their own with Miles and Peter, or if they're going to do their own choice-based system where each each playthrough of the story is different due to if you choose to play Peter most of the game or Miles, or if you decided to mix it up with both. Because I wonder if the size of the game matters, that Peter and Miles, the actors for them are having to record and mocap scenes and voice lines that are used for different mission sets that you can choose to do as Peter or Miles. And that would kind of make sense to why Yuri still got some work. And of course, I'm sure that the Miles Morales voice actor has to do some work as well, as from what I understand, he's very active on his social media, posting what looks like to be work for the Spider-Man title. But of course, that would be really cool. We shall see where they go with a more fluid choice-based system depending on the player, or more of a approach where you have set missions for Peter and Miles, and of course, maybe you'll be able to choose major story missions that put the two together. We shall see, of course, with this symbiote saga. So, of course, I am really excited for this game. It's one of my most anticipated titles of 2023, and I cannot see where they take the title in the sequel. But of course, tell me, what are your thoughts on this game? I would like to see how you feel about it. Like, what do you feel the sequel will be? Do you think it will be great, bad, trash, or did you not even like the original 2 games before? Give me your thoughts. I'd like to talk to you about it and discuss and debate why you might like it or why you might not. Do you even want a sequel? Do you want a Spider-Man 2, or would you rather PlayStation and Insomniac focus resources on different titles, maybe another Resistance game, or just a whole new IP from them in general? Let's just start a discussion in the comments and figure out what's next for this duo of Peter and Miles. I'm excited to see what you guys think, and of course, thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and of course, hit the notification bell to be updated when I upload next. And until the next one, peace.